So the Arizona Wildcats beat the Colorado Buffaloes. Final score: Arizona Wildcats 68 to the Colorado Buffaloes 54. Um, 6 3-pointers from Askia Booker from the Colorado Buffaloes. Wow. It's hard to stop. It's hard to stop. I mean, I think he was 5 for 5 from three-point land in the first half, and then he started to get kind of a little bit tired, and then he made that sixth three-pointer whenever he came down. Then he came down on his left ankle. His left ankle came down on T.J. McConnell's foot, so he twisted that ankle. But he came back in a little bit later after after getting checked out, and he scored some more baskets. So he ended up with 30 points. If he didn't score any more baskets, then at least I think he made some assists or some rebounds or maybe some steal or something. But anyway, Askia Booker from the Colorado Buffaloes, he was hard to stop. That's for sure. He was just T.J. McConnell tried to defend him, tried to shut him down. Hollis-Jefferson tried to shut him down. From what I heard, Hollis-Jefferson was doing a pretty good job of shutting him down, but that didn't last for very long, because then Askia Booker from the Colorado Buffaloes figured out how to get free with Rondé Hollis-Jefferson following him. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson from the Arizona Wildcats ended up with 3 personal fouls, so maybe that was one of the reasons why he might have backed off a little bit from Askia Booker for the Colorado Buffaloes. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson had a really bad night, had a really slow night. He shot 1 3-pointer, but he missed it. The only points that he had were 2, and those were both at the free throw line. Speaking of free throws, the Arizona Wildcats did pretty good on the free throws. They shot 15 out of 19 from free throw land, which is like 78% or something around there. I'm looking at the ESPN stats here, so that's where I'm getting my information from. As far as the rebounds, that was a big area of concern for me whenever the Arizona Wildcats played Oregon State and lost, because we got pretty much the Arizona Wildcats got out rebounded, I think by 6 or something like that, and it was quite a few offensive rebounds that the Arizona Wildcats didn't get. But this time the tables were turned, and the Arizona Wildcats were able to get 13 total offensive rebounds, while the Colorado Buffaloes had 4 offensive rebounds. The Colorado Buffaloes had 1 offensive rebound for quite a while, for most of the game, but they got a few right there at the end, just because I think the Arizona Wildcats kind of backed off a little bit. But the total amount of rebounds for the Arizona Wildcats was 41, while the total amount of rebounds for the Colorado Buffaloes was 26. If you look at defensive rebounds, then they were kind of close, but the Arizona Wildcats had 28 defensive rebounds, while the Colorado Buffaloes had 22 defensive rebounds. It was just the thing about it is from this is kind of what I was hearing from Walton and Jay Billis um, and Dave. They were saying that that Tarczewski from the Arizona Wildcats, the 7-foot Tarczewski, was kind of having his way. Could pretty much have his way when he was down there in the paint as far as offensively. So he ended up with Tarczewski ended up with 14 points, shot 5 for 7 field goal percentage, and he made 4 for 6 free throws. I'm really concerned about his rebounding though, and maybe it's just me. You know, maybe I shouldn't be so worried about it. But maybe Tarczewski is just afraid to get into foul trouble because Tarczewski had 4 fouls tonight. So if he would have been more aggressive as far as getting those rebounds, then he might have got in more foul trouble. Maybe he might have fouled out. So maybe that's one of the reasons why the coach for the University of Arizona Wildcats, Sean Miller, is saying, don't worry about getting your rebounds. Brendan Ashley from the Arizona Wildcats and Rondé Hollis-Jefferson will pick up, and T.J. McConnell will get a lot of those rebounds. And if we look at there was guys that had 7 total rebounds. That was Rondé Hollis-Jefferson with 7 total rebounds. 1 was offensive. T.J. McConnell with 7 total rebounds. Brendan Ashley did pretty good. He had 11 total rebounds. 7 of them were defensive, and 4 of them were offensive. I think offensive rebounds are they're like a stamp of authority against the other team. So I think that getting all those offensive rebounds, especially for Brendan Ashley, with us, he's kind of a finesse, a little bit guy. Even though he probably wouldn't be too crazy about me saying that about him, but he is kind of a finesse guy because he does have that he did break that break his ankle last season, but so he's not playing offense as hard as he could, I don't think. But he ended up with 4 offensive rebounds, and the only person that had more offensive rebounds was Stanley Johnson, the freshman, the elite freshman that the U of A recruited this year. He had 5 offensive rebounds. One of the big things that I remember about Stanley Johnson was he had 7 turnovers whenever we played the University of Arizona Wildcats lost against UNLV, but Stanley Johnson only had 1 turnover tonight, so he did very good, and he had 3 assists. So the assist to turnover ratio is always very important as a very nice stat. And so T.J. McConnell ended up with his normal, somewhat of his normal, a little bit less than what his normal is, but very good still anyways. He ended up with 6 assists. He normally gets 6 or 7 or 8 assists a game, especially whenever he is not scoring so much. And he only had T.J. McConnell only had 8 points tonight, but actually 6 of those 8 points were from the 3-point land behind the arc. So that was pretty cool for TJ to knock those down, because I think it was Bill Walton that was saying that whenever your point guard can knock down some 3-pointers, then that opens up the inside quite a bit more, because then the defenders know that they have to go out and defend against that point guard, because he can knock down those 3-pointers. And when the defenders go out there to defend against that point guard outside the key, then it leaves some of the inside guys open, like Tarczewski like Brendan Ashley, like Hollis-Jefferson, like Johnson. Um, and Johnson drew a lot of fouls tonight, so he did pretty good. He got a lot of people in foul trouble. He ended up with the most points that he's ever scored in an Arizona Wildcat uniform tonight with 22 points. Um, he didn't make any of his three-pointer attempts. He had three attempts, but he didn't make any of them. But he did knock down 8 for 9 from the free throw line from the charity stripe. So he did really good with that. So that theirs were 8 points of his total 22 points tonight. And Elliot Pitts knocked down 4 for 6 from three-point land. So that was so he really stepped in for Gabe York, because Gabe York, I guess, had an ankle injury or something like that, so he couldn't play tonight against the Colorado Buffaloes. So the pressure was kind of on Elliot Pitts to hit those outside shots, and he did. 4 for 6. He's the one that I think Elliot Pitts is from the Arizona Wildcats is one of the people that kept that percentage up quite a bit. And I had T.J. McConnell for 2 for 3 from three-point land, also kept that percentage up. As far as who kept up the three-point attempt percentage for the Colorado Buffaloes, it was Askia Booker. Like I said, he was 5 for 5 at one point, but then he started getting, I think he kind of started get kind of tired and stuff like that, because he ended up with 6 for 9 from three-point land, which is still fantastic, because the last person I remember shooting really, really great three-pointers was Salim Stoudemire from the Arizona Wildcats. But anyway, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson with only 2 points, but he made a lot of contributions, and I think that he played a very pesky defense on Askia Booker, and I think that's one of the reasons why Askia Booker only scored 30 points. Still, that's a lot of points, man. 30 points. He scored 30. Askia Booker scored 30 points of the team total 54 points. So he scored. I would say that he probably scored 60% of the team shots. There's no one else on the Colorado Buffaloes that scored in double digits. Jason Hopkins scored 8 points. Let's see. That was it. I mean, that was the next highest score. I mean, the next highest score after that was 5, with Trayshawn Fletcher. So for the Colorado Buffaloes. So anyway, the Arizona Wildcats really did a nice job, but with they virtually they get a ton of points off turnovers, and they got a ton of fast break points, and they got a ton of second chance opportunity points from in the paint. So they did really fantastic, and they ended up with 13 total offensive rebounds, while the Colorado Buffaloes end up with 4. So that will be something that will be really good to see for the Arizona Wildcats whenever they go up and play against Utah on Saturday, to see if the Arizona Wildcats can still keep up the pace as far as rebounds, and if not do better, then at least stay at the same pace as the Utah Utes, and get more offensive rebounds actually than the Utah Utes. I think that's going to be a big thing. And another big thing that was really cool was Parker Jackson-Cartwright with getting 4 assists tonight. That was really cool, because you're looking at your point guard, which is T.J. McConnell, which is a standard, very good assist maker. He had 6 assists tonight. But then Parker Jackson-Cartwright having 4 assists. That was very good. That was something that it's really nice to see, because your second string point guard is making a great amount of assists, 4 assists. He's the one that had the second most assists in the game after T.J. McConnell. So, and that's understandable. But anyway, it was just very nice to see Jackson-Cartwright. He knocked down 1 of 2 from three-point land, and just to make a lot of contributions and not be so much of a shooter. Be more of a team player and get assists and pass it off. Because whenever he's driving, then you notice that the other team they will fold in on him. They will try and defend against Parker Jackson-Cartwright, and when he does, then that leaves whenever they leave their man to go try and stop Jackson-Cartwright, then he can pass it out to somebody else, and a free man, and they can make a nice shot. Assist. He can assist, and somebody else can make a nice shot with with very little defense on them. Anyway, the Arizona Wildcats win this game 68 to Colorado Buffalo's 54.